since Burning Man Project CEO Marianne Goodell decided in 2019 to broaden Burning Man's attendee access to public and move their talents from Northern California to Black Rock City, Nevada, smoking weed has been prohibited. This has made things a bit awkward for, the pot-loving hippies that make up the vast majority of the yearly festival's attendees. I mean, the whole festival is about sidestepping modern societal norms and throwing a big middle finger up to the established rules and regulations. But according to SF Gates Lester Black, those who get caught attempting to break Nevada's state law end up paying quite the hefty price. Black said that when it comes to Burning Man, the annual Nevada event, world famous for shirking of societal conventions, openly doing drugs or smoking marijuana, can land you in legal hot water. The festival is heavily patrolled by law enforcement, and people have been ticketed and even arrested for cannabis in previous years. Jacob Smith, a staff attorney at ACLU of Nevada and a volunteer for Burning Man Legal Observer Program, said that he knows people who've been ticketed and even removed from the festival just for smoking weed. Although Burning Man can be a nurturing and safe space, there's still real-world dangers and potentially real-world over-enforcement of marijuana. Oh, get a clap for that? You get a clap for folks getting popped in Burning Man? See, Jason hates the hippies, man. Jason hates the hippies.
I love hippies.
In 2019, 58 people were arrested, with most being drug-related arrests, including one San Francisco man who was charged with a felony pot possession and kept on $500,000 bail. However, arrests decreased the following years. Last year, there were few arrests because rain created a weather emergency that left officers primarily helping people navigate a muddy desert, according to Reno Gazette-Journal. However, Black says that according to Mitchell Gomez, the executive director of Dance Safe, a harm reduction organization that's been active at Burning Man for 15 years, the arrest numbers often don't tell the entire story of drug enforcement at the event. He said that undercover police frequently approach people they suspect of doing drugs and hand out tickets for using substances like cannabis. For simple cannabis possession, they often let you plead down to non-drug drug offenses or just pay a fine, but you still have to get a lawyer and deal with that. The constant surveillance from police at the festival has led to widespread warnings to never smoke weed openly during the event or risk having cops search your entire camp for other drugs. You should not walk around with a joint at the playa. It's a bad idea, Gomez said. That provides probable cause for them searching you. They can go through your pockets. They'll often say you have to get your ID and take you back to your camp and then search your entire camp. The reason police presence is so heavy-handed at Burning Man is due to overlapping local and federal law enforcement. Each year, Black says Burning Man draws more than 70,000 people to Black Rock City in a rural stretch of the northern Nevada desert. The week-long party takes place on federal land and is patrolled by 5 different law enforcement agencies. It's about 5 too many for me, my black ass. But pot remains illegal on the playa, the term used by burners to describe the festival grounds thanks to overlapping federal and state laws. Marijuana is completely illegal according to federal law, and even though Nevada legalized in 2017, state law still forbids smoking in public. A spokesperson for Burning Man, said in an email statement to SF Gate that the event organizers unfortunately do not have the data on drug arrests because law enforcement has not always shared that information, but confirmed that the agency still enforce cannabis laws, and we can confirm that arrests have been made for simple cannabis possession. Despite the prohibition on pot, law enforcement officials have broad discretion when deciding how they enforce the laws. Marijuana is smoked widely, often with little repercussions across Nevada, including on federal land in national parks and in the city of Las Vegas. Lawyers for Burners, a group of volunteers who help coordinate resources for people arrested at the festival, blamed heavy-handed law enforcement on Pershing County Sheriff Jerry Allen, writing on their website that he's increased enforcement and describing him as out of control. Allen said in an email to SF Gate that his officers have reduced the amount of enforcement against marijuana at the event following state cannabis decriminalization. However, he confirmed that the arrests do happen primarily for people who use the drug in public or have more than an ounce of the drug. People must remember, if you use marijuana in another product, brownies, for example, it is not just the weight of the drug, it's the total weight of the product containing the drug. And brownies, for example, are heavy and would then exceed the 1 ounce maximum possession limit. He's fucking y'all up on a technicality. Saying that shit too. The Nevada State Police, the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, and Pyramid Lake Police Department, all of which patrol the playa, did not respond to a request for comment. John Asselin, the spokesperson for Bureau of Land Management, which also patrols the event, declined an interview with SF Gate, but said in an email statement that the federal agency enforces all applicable laws on public lands throughout the year. So to me, it sounds like a whole lot of that societal stress these folks were out here to escape in the first place is now part of the whole damn experience and its infrastructure. Sadly, as a lover of regular showers, dependable electricity, air conditioning, and internet, I have personally never made it out to Burning Man, though it has been on my West Coast bucket list as things to do before I eventually migrate. But knowing that undercover and uniformed super cops are on the beat, ready to fuck up the whole vibe, it definitely gives me pause before jumping at the opportunity these days, like I maybe would have pre-COVID. Maybe that's just me. Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News. Anybody else on the team other than MSG burned? Would that heavy presence of police surveillance all week affect your experience? Or maybe I should ask MSG first, man. How has it been? I know you're not out there this week.
We could have about a 3-hour show just on my interactions with the cops and doing drugs at Burning Man.
Oh, wow. Special edition.
That being said, real quick, the cops will totally bust you for weed. That was one of the best things last year with the rain is the cops, the way their labor laws work, they ran out all of their patrol time. And so from Friday to Monday, they couldn't leave the camp unless they were called. Nobody called them because we don't need them. We're finally able to smoke blunts in public, day or night, anywhere we wanted. There was one point, me and my friend Mike, and we're literally running around with bags of weed out while smoking blunts, just walking around like having a little weed parade because we're happy about it. Yeah, that being said, number one is be careful where you smoke weed. Try to do it like in crowds or deep in camp because they will search you for everything. Other thing, and I just wanted to mention this, we normally think when we go to do drugs or something is we like try to walk away from the party, and we partying, it's all lit up and everywhere around is dark. And so you think walking 100 feet or so away from the party is really safe. At Burning Man, it's not. All of the cops have night vision binoculars. What they actually watch is they watch for people walking away from the party and then accessing their backpack. If you do need to grab drugs out of your backpack, stay in the party close to the DJ in the thickest knot of people that you can.
Yeah, get them cover.
If anybody asks you for drugs and they look clean, they're a cop. Yeah. That being said, it can be super fun, and it's just like any other city where, like, you can't just act however the fuck you want in any city. That's part of being in a society is you have to behave in public within certain restrictions. Also, really quickly, in 2012, I did climb a uniformed BLM police officer. I climbed federal police officer on our friend Abraxas's art car. It was one of my highest moments at Burning Man.
Oh, boy.
Anybody else here, Ben?
Oh, man. Burning Man.
I've only done Burning Man replacements. But Jason, did Rico say he's going to migrate to Florida?
No.
I didn't say Florida. I said before I migrate. As a military kid, this is the longest I've ever lived anywhere, and I've been itching to get the fuck out of here for a long time. So I'm open to suggestions, but they have to be women reproductive system friendly.
Well, that ain't Florida.
Oh,
it is
Oh,
not.
damn.
oh, boy.
Manatees have more rights than women.
I don't know about all
That's
that.
true.
I don't know about all that. Not buying any
And
of
all
that
the women there
craziness.
just looking for a manatees. Am I right? Am I right?
In Miami, yeah, for sure.
Well-
I don't know. I think this is interesting. I don't know. It's weird to me that Burning Man doesn't release their arrest like every other festival that I know of that I've gone to that my friends go to regularly. After the weekend, we're like, oh boy, let's see who fucked up. Because they release the shit, whatever county or whatever releases. I guess maybe it's because they're in that weird catch area in the middle of BLM land.
It's actually part of the permit because they're on BLM land. You have to pay the federal government somewhere between $3 to $5 million a year. You have to sign away the rights to all of this stuff, or they won't be allowed to use the playa. They've actually been looking for private land in the same area where they can hold the festival and not negatively impact.
Just
The best things about
How
Burning
many
Man
acres do they need?
Well, hold on. Just so everyone is clear, BLM stands for Bureau of Land Management in this reference.
We know that.
There it is.
Okay.
It's like the Forest Service for land that has,
Look it up in the comments,
less,
Jason.
used to less trees to cut down.
Mm-hmm.
Burning Man is a pentagon that's about 5 miles across, so it's almost the size of the city of San Francisco.
Oh,
The
wow.
playa that they hold it on is 25 miles by 95.
Yeah.
They do
I wonder.
they need somewhere big enough that they won't negatively impact the environment, because it's one of the few places on Earth where you can't really fuck it up. It's just, feet thick of alkaline talc.
I wonder how many burning men and women that would have possibly got caught smoking weed on the playa if they all just said it's THCA and then see what the cops said.
Well, yeah, that's a new loophole that we all have, right? You got to carry your COA with you.
Yeah, carry your COAs. Exactly. A little picture on your phone. Look at this. It's legal.
Oh, boy.
I mean,
Well, I don't know. It sounds like a setup to me, but all right.
it always is a setup, and that's one of the trade-offs that they allow of how they allow these big festivals is saying, hey, okay, if you're going to allow these festivals, then you have to allow law enforcement to come in and make arrests and make busts and set fines and tickets and whatnot. That's part of the whole trade-off.
They're like,
The coolest thing about the
no
hog
big
farm, the hog
deal.
farm's private land, and so there was never cops. You could see people walking around with like 8-gram mushrooms, just like 8-gram mushroom here, 7-gram bud here, and just cruising around in public like, yo, you want these?
Didn't reggae on the river used to be like that? It was just on private land, and then something changed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
And I do have to say, like, while I was doing some research for the story this morning, I saw that a woman died. A woman attendee died on the first day. So offer my condolences for that. And
That's tough.
hope everybody out there burning does stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
Take your
Say on your
water.
ticket that you could die.
And any thoughts on this, Yarrow, before we move on?
No, I mean, it's an interesting one for me because obviously Nevada is a consumption-friendly state. I understand the multi-jurisdictional aspect and the fact that it's federal land with 5 square miles of dirt with a foot of alkaline thick sand. The chances of fires are a lot lessened, and so it's hard for me to understand why, other than revenue, that would be a place where people would be using night vision tactical gear against cannabis smokers.
Well, they have to try it out. They have to try it out and make sure that it works.
I know. They have to justify the purchase.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is this, it's so much easier to create revenue by hassling gentle people on psychedelics than it is to go after actual criminals who might shoot back.
I think we need to think about the economics of this, right? Because people pay a lot of money and take a lot of time to go out there to have an enjoyable experience. The federal government earns $3 to $5 million a year leasing what is otherwise non-arable, non-usable land. Everybody wins when we think about the fact that this is not just an event for people to have an experience, but it's also a big commercial event, whether you like it or not. And so if everybody wins and everybody's bread is getting buttered, there's really no reason why we want to interfere with that user experience, that attendees' joy in a way that really is going to be a buzzkill.
Fair enough.
Don't say joy too many times. You're going to give Jason a buzzkill right now.
Oh, boy. You know what?
It's just the culture war, though. That's the thing is, the BLM units are headed by are basically ranger units, which are divided regionally. Head of the ranger unit, along with the Washoe and Pershing County sheriffs, are all on Jason's team. They're uptight Republicans. They hate us. They're God fearing. They love Jesus.
Jesus,
They
baby.
think that we are here to end their way of life, which a little luck. That's why we are here, and hopefully we can do so.
Yeah, and on that, since you're trying to end life, we're going to end this segment, and we're going to go to a commercial, and we're going to be right back.